Hello everybody, welcome back. Right, I've got a sweet pattern for you today. I absolutely love this. It's so simple, it's both-sided. You can make so many items with this, from blankets to cushion covers, because it's a small detail pattern, and even when you stretch it, it's really pretty. So you may have seen this before, you may not have. It's a variation of the moss stitch. It's the crunch moss stitch. What I love about this, it creates a really straight piece of work for start, and I love these little dashes that you get, and it's both-sided. So it doesn't take that long, and it's really fairly easy to do. You just got to remember to keep your slip stitches nice and loose. This is DK yarn, lightweight yarn, number 3. You can use any yarn and any corresponding hook. What I have done though is I've gone one size up. The recommended hook is a 4. It says between 4 to 5, so I've gone the upper end of a 5mm crochet hook, because again the stitches, if I did 4, I think it would be too tight, and I wanted that softness to it. So you can experiment with your hook sizes and your yarns depending on what you want to create. Okay, so it's half double crochet and slip stitches in this. If you don't know how to do a half double crochet, please go ahead and practice that, and then we can come back to this tutorial and you can join us here. The other thing is I will show you very slowly. If it's still too fast, then please do slow me down in playback options. I think it's under the settings menu in your in the YouTube app, whether you're on the app or on the computer, sorry. And yes, you can put captions on. So I'm going to use a nice bright butter kissed yellow. This is by Woolcraft, new fashion, and I'll show you a very small sample. So the pattern is just in multiples of 2. So if you, for example, if you wanted to make a baby blanket out of this, I chained 24 stitches. So 24 stitches gives me, I'm not sure where my no, it's not here. Sorry, I was looking for my measuring tape. But yeah, what you could do is, I always advise my ladies, just do a small sample with me first and see how you feel. You can do a sample of say 20 stitches, and that will give you what it is in inches anyway, because it's going to be different for different yarns and different hooks. So do a small sample, see how you feel about the stitch, and that will also give you the measurements approximately. If you did a small, this is 24, so if you did 20 chains, it'd probably be around here. And if that's 4 inches, then you know that every 20 stitches is going to give you 4 inches of width. Then you just multiply up. Okay, normally I give you a number, but I don't have my measuring tape. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been painting and decorating, and saw evidence of paint on my hand. Very difficult to get rid of, and I had the measuring tape downstairs. Anyway, let's begin. So multiples of 2. So I will do a small sample of 12. So do your slip knot how you do yours. This is how I do mine. Let's move this over here. And this is called the crunch moss stitch. So any even number, but let's go with 12 and see how you feel. Okay, 12 chains. What you want to do is a slip stitch into the second chain. So you don't count that one, not that little one there, go to this one here. Go in, pull up the loop, and then pull the loop through the one on the hook. That's a slip stitch. We're working straight into the chain. For the next stitch, do a half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now we're reverting back to the slip stitch. So slip stitch is just go into the chain, pull up the loop, then pull that loop through the one on the hook. Next one, half double crochet, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And next one is a slip stitch. So we're alternating. One is a half double crochet and the other is a slip stitch. Half double crochet and a slip stitch. half double crochet, and your final one should be a slip stitch. So whatever you start off this side will always be the same on the end. So we started with a slip, we will finish with a slip stitch. Okay, that's row 1. Now row 2 is exactly the same, we're just starting differently from here. So we do the opposite of what we've just done. That was a slip stitch. So we chain 1. You'll be able to recognize which ones are your half double crochets and which ones are your slip stitches. So on this row we started with a slip stitch, ended with a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, turn our work over and start with a half double crochet. So yarn over, go in to that first stitch, pull up a loop and pull through all 3. Next one, be careful now not to go in like this. These are the these little lines that are created, so we're not going into that. If you're ever unsure, flip your work. There are your chains. So we did a half double crochet, the next one's a slip stitch. So it's not like this. If you flip the work over, there's the V. You want to go into the V. So you kind of like ignore that big, the line there in front, and do your slip stitch. Next one. You will know which, if you ever get lost, you will know the one that's the longer one, which sort of you can see here, that will be your slip stitch. The tiny one will be your half double crochet if you ever get stuck. So half double crochet in the next one and slip stitch into the next one. Half double crochet in the next one and slip stitch. And we will do this exactly the same as the first row. It's just that we've started with a half double crochet, and we will end in a half double crochet. So I've got 2 chains left here, 2 stitches. This next one is half slip stitch, and now it's a half double crochet. But again, if you're not sure, flip it over. There's your V, so you know where you're going. Both of the strands, and finish with a half double crochet. That's row 2. Chain 1, back to row 1. So we start with a slip stitch, and the next one is a half double crochet. Slip stitch and half double crochet. And you will alternate. Half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet. We started with a slip stitch, so we will end with a slip stitch. Again, if you're looking at the work here, you'll think, oh, there it is, these 2 loops. It's not that. Ignore that loop, flip it over. There's the 2 loops there, because that loop is the pattern that gets created with the half double crochet. So we finish with a slip stitch. Chain 1, we now know we need to start with a half double crochet first. So we just, like I said, alternate. And that's all you need to do. Apart from the fact that you've got to start either with a slip stitch or a half double crochet. It could have been really a 1 row repeat, but it's not, so it's 2. And then we'll finish with a half double crochet. There's a tiny V there. So wiggle your hook in and half double crochet. Chain 1. Now we're back to starting with a slip. If you ever get confused, where you've got these lines here, that's your slip stitch. And the teeny one here will be your half double crochet. But you shouldn't, because it's just a 2 row repeat, and on row 1 you're starting with a slip stitch, and then in row 2 you're starting with a half double crochet, ending in a half double crochet. Show you 1 more row. Start with a half double crochet. Do I? Yes, I do. creates such a sweet little pattern. That's what I love about this stitch. Okay, and that's how you will carry on. Can you see how pretty it is? It's both sided as well. This is with lightweight yarn on a 5mm crochet hook. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and like and share what you see. And yeah, I've got some patterns coming up for you now. I've done a few baby shoes. Might be a few more patterns coming up for you. But yeah, this creates, you can create so many things with this. You've got to try it, even if it's a small sample. And you'll, once you feel it in your hands, I think you'll be hooked. Thanks again, and I'll see you very soon.